So this is our 5th time back to Japan in the last 4 years, and each time we try to experience something different.
For the next 7 days, we'll be taking you on a journey through art across some beautiful Japanese destinations. And throughout the video, we will share 10 helpful tips about the Japan Rail Pass.
But what is the Japan Rail Pass, also known as the JR Pass?
This is the only ticket that allows you to travel unlimited across Japan and is for foreign visitors only, something we have used every time, making all of our trips convenient and comfortable.
So we've just landed in Tokyo, Japan, and now we have to collect our JR Pass tickets. But before we do that, let's rewind to a month ago.
We purchased our Japan Rail Passes online. It was as easy as jumping onto the official Japan Rail Pass website. You can select the dates of travel, 7, 14 or 21 day pass, your arrival into Japan location, and then the number of adults. After filling in some personal information, it was literally done. You can even start reserving your routes ahead of time before collecting your pass in Japan. Back to today, we're in Tokyo Station, and the first thing we need to do is head to an exchange counter to get our printed Japan Rail Passes.
So if you didn't know, there are a number of stations across Japan where you can actually exchange your Japan Rail Pass tickets. For example, we're in Tokyo Station and there are 5 different spots you can exchange for these tickets.
And now that we have our tickets, it's time to start making our way to our first destination of this trip. Today, we are making our way from Tokyo to Echigo-Yuzawa. This is a place located in the northern part of the Niigata Prefecture on the western coast of Honshu.
Made it to Niigata! So if you didn't know, there are actually 47 prefectures that run through the whole of Japan, and Niigata is the 5th largest one. If you are a nature lover, this prefecture is definitely for you. And we've come here for one thing only, and that is to see the Kyotso Gorge, because it looks absolutely stunning. And there's one place in particular where you get the best views, and that is the Tunnel of Light, which is only a 30-minute taxi ride from where we are right now. So we're here now. It's only a short walking distance from the information centre in the town to where we are going next. But it's just amazing. Hey!
Have a good day.
You too! The Japanese are so polite, it's ridiculous. Oh, it's getting dark.
It is immediately so much cooler in here.
Oh wow.
The ticket is now printed.
What's the saying? There's light at the end of the tunnel? Oh my days, and the award for the coolest toilet in the whole of Japan.
I mean, sit here, do your business, and have just nature to look at. Some people. On that note, I think I might use the restroom.
So the Tunnel of Light is the perfect blend of art and nature. It has a handful of viewing points, but at the end of this 750 meter long tunnel is what you've all come to see. The tunnel opens up overlooking the Kyotso Gorge, and with this reflective pool, there is this beautiful effect that will now forever be ingrained in our memory. It really was an unforgettable view and experience. Moving on to day 2 of our trip, before we leave Niigata, there was one last place we wanted to check out, which was the Tokamachi City Museum.
Now this is a place that almost celebrates and educates people about the history of Japan, especially this region of Niigata.
It was super insightful to see and learn how people lived thousands of years ago, from where they stayed, what they wore, and even the tools they used in their daily lives. There's even some national treasures dated as far back as 14,000 BC, like the flame-style pottery, which is just insane to think how old these really are.
We are now leaving the Niigata prefecture and making our way to another new prefecture to tick off, which is Ishikawa. This brings us nicely onto tip number 3 for the Japan Rail Pass, selecting the JR Pass that is right for you. And there isn't just one Japan Rail Pass, there are 7, 14 and 21 day options. It's definitely worth loosely planning your route in Japan. Let's say for instance you have a 2-week trip planned. The first week you're only exploring Tokyo and then going off to explore more remote areas in the second week. Then a 7-day pass may be more financially beneficial to you than a 14-day one.
So we just made it to Kanazawa station, and there is this amazing structure, and it is impressive.
It's amazing, and it's literally right outside the station.
And there it is. That is cool. Let's go take a closer look. This is so impressive. They're made out of like individual huge pieces of timber. Like, to put that together,
Blows my mind.
that is a solid structure. It even says the time.
How does that change time? Like, how How does that work? That is amazing. Ready to go check out Omicho Market.
So we currently find ourselves in the crossroads of Omicho Market. Now Omicho Market is the largest indoor fresh produce market throughout Kanazawa. It has been since like the 1600s. The fresh produce is coming in thick and fast. There is octopus, there is oysters, there is squid, fish, prawns, everything imaginable. The size of some of these crabs are insane. I've seen one go for 15,000 yen, which is about 150 Australian dollars. That's actually crazy.
Oh my gosh. That
You can't smell it. That's taken the essence of the taste away.
That was amazing. Ned made a bad choice.
We can share.
We can share. Thank you.
So we've made it to the next spot on our list, which is Kanazawa Castle. Now, this place is slowly back under construction. This place has suffered quite a lot of fires over its course of its history, because this castle dates back to the late 1500s. But the surrounding gardens, and once you get inside the castle ruins, it's absolutely stunning. It kind of reminds us a little bit of like Himeji Castle, with like the white exterior, faded grey rooftops. It's a really, really beautiful spot. So we've just finished at Kanazawa Castle Park. Now opposite the road is one of the most beautiful places you'll find, not just in Kanazawa, but also throughout Japan, and that is Kenrokuen Garden. Now this place has taken about 200 years to fully kind of grow, and it's considered one of Japan's most beautiful gardens. So depending on the season that you're coming to visit Japan, and specifically Kanazawa, you might be lucky and witness plum blossom during around February to March time. And then if you're coming during April time, you might be even luckier and see cherry blossom. It's a good place to actually spend a couple hours just pretty much getting lost and trying to soak in as much of this beauty as possible.
So if you didn't know, Kanazawa is famous for something totally unique. Gold leaf ice cream. Kanazawa produces 99% of Japan's gold leaf. This delicate layer of 24 karat gold is completely edible and adds a pretty beautiful touch to soft serve ice cream.
Oh my days, look at this. Have you ever seen a work of art quite like this gold leaf ice cream?
Does it taste like gold?
Oh wow.
Does it taste expensive?
If gold could taste, then it tastes a 10 out of 10. Oh.
Our last activity for the day takes us to the 21st Century Museum of Contemporary Art.
I'm so excited to go inside here.
Now, there's a wide range of art here, from mind-bending installations and contemporary sculptures, all hidden within what feels like a maze inside. But its most famous piece, and what we've been eager to see for so many years, is the swimming pool. Now, at first glance, it just looks like a regular pool, but then you realise it's actually an optical illusion, where you can walk underneath, and from below, it feels like you're underwater.
This is so surreal. We're literally in the swimming pool.
This is one of the best pieces of kind of like contemporary art I've ever seen.
I would have to totally agree.
It's another day and we are back at Kanazawa Station on our way to another prefecture, which is Gifu.
This brings us on to tip number 4, how to reserve seats for your Japan Rail Pass.
There are 2 ways to reserve your seat with your JR Pass. Option number 1 is you can go to your departing station and go to reserve seat ticket machine. Here you can actually reserve a seat on the journey that you'll be taking. Or option number 2, if you know the journey that you will be taking, you can go online and you can actually reserve that seat up to 1 month in advance. Either way, you will still have to go to your departing station and collect that reserve seat ticket from the ticket machine.
And whilst we're on the subject of reserving, you can also reserve oversized baggage. Most seats on trains located at the end of each carriage cater for oversized luggage, where it can be stored behind the seat.
So if, like us, and you've used the JR Pass reservation website correctly, you have a lovely luggage compartment to store just behind your seats. You also have these oversized baggage compartments. Now, these can also be booked online on the JR reservation website. If you know your journey in advance, try and book that in as early as possible, just to guarantee that you get these as well.
And depending on the train that you are on, there may sometimes be complimentary luggage space, which of course is a first come first served basis.
So the next spot on our list is approximately 60 minutes car journey from Gifu station. Now you can get the bus, but because we want to make sure we squeeze in as much as possible, we decided to grab a cab, so therefore it's going to take 30 minutes less.
Welcome to Monet's Pond.
Now the reason why this is called Monet's Pond is because it resembles a lot of Monet's paintings, but especially the water lilies. So the water is super clear because the water comes straight from the mountains. You've got the beautiful water lilies and there are koi everywhere. So it's very reminiscent and very similar to Monet's painting. And actually this place didn't really even have a name until a few years ago because it was adopted and nicknamed Monet's Pond on social media, and it kind of went crazy. So now it's brought a lot of sort of like positive tourism, this area of the Gifu Prefecture. That's one of the reasons as to why we are here as well.
It is just so peaceful. You could just easily spend the entire afternoon here.
It's places like Monet's Pond in Gifu that really emphasises how beautiful Japan's nature really is. Which brings us on to tip number 6 of the Japan Rail Pass: explore beyond the major cities. One of the major benefits of the JR Pass is the unlimited use you have, so don't be afraid to head away from the big cities and experience a whole different side of Japan.
So today is a new day, but unfortunately we are getting copped with a lot of rain. Currently there is a typhoon passing through, so that is dictating a lot of our plans. We've luckily found a place which is a museum, and we're hoping we can partake in an activity where we can make some paper. Now I know that sounds a bit strange, but believe me when I say you're gonna want to stay tuned to see what we get up to.
It is coming down so hard. Wow, that is absolutely chucking it down out there. This is the perfect little hideaway when it is raining like it is today, and we get to explore the history of the famous Japanese paper Mino-Washi. Oh my gosh, this looks so fun!
This is the Mino-Washi making experience.
I'm so excited for this.
I'm so happy we managed to secure a spot.
Mino-Washi is a UNESCO paper-making tradition that dates back over 1,300 years. It's long been produced in the city of Mino in the Gifu Prefecture, which is where we currently are.
I'm ready, I'm aproned up.
The whole process is just absolutely fascinating, and we were lucky to have the guides on hand to make sure we were doing it right.
Wow! Look at that! You did really good!
It's incredible how something so intricate starts from nature, patience, and a little bit of skill. After pressing and drying, we had our very own handmade Mino-Washi paper to take home and a piece of Gifu's history with it. And to think this activity only cost 500 yen.
Well, who thought a museum for paper would be as interesting as it has been today? The art of Mino-Washi paper.
It's now time to say goodbye to Gifu and make our way down to Nagoya, where we plan to just spend one night before commencing an exciting journey across Japan tomorrow.
So this morning we are on somewhat of an adventure. We are heading to a new prefecture, and it's Kagawa. Now, if you look on the map, Kagawa is a fair distance away from where we are here in Nagoya.
Which brings us on to tip number 7, planning your route. This might sound like a straightforward tip, but this also includes things like checking train schedules, and sometimes there is no room for error. For example, today we are changing at least 2 times, and missing a connecting train can mean a difference of an hour or 2 in addition to your travel time. And talking of being time efficient, this leads us on to tip number 8 of the Japan Rail Pass: time saved.
After navigating the past 6 days with our luggage, having to work around people, platforms, I cannot even begin to tell you how amazing it is to have just this one Japan Rail Pass ticket. Not having to get to the station and worry about finding the ticket machine, figure out what journey you're taking, what time you want to grab the train, how much it's going to cost. It is just a blessing to be able to get this out of my bag and go straight through the barriers.
So this is day 6 of our 7-day itinerary, and we are starting to feel a little bit sad because we're nearing the end of our trip, and it has been absolutely amazing. We are almost at our final destination, and we are really excited to take you to Takamatsu.
We made it to Takamatsu! And the first stop on today's itinerary is the Kawashima Takeshi Art Factory. So we find ourselves inside Takeshi Kawashima's art factory. This gentleman is a renowned artist, the Takamatsu. He's got artwork being showcased here, he's got artwork being showcased in New York. He was actually there for 53 years, so a lot of his work is kind of inspired by, I think, a lot of like New York sights, sounds, landmarks, culture.
I can totally see why he decided to open up a gallery somewhere like this, and not just a gallery, but he actually has his very own workshop downstairs. What a place to come and feel inspired and create some art. And I feel like these pieces are definitely meant to feel a little bit more playful.
And to top off our experience, Takeshi Kawashima himself paid us a personal visit. It was honestly such a real pleasure meeting him and his wife. Can you believe this man is 94 years old and he's still going strong? It's experiences like this that truly make us appreciate why we love traveling, connecting with different people from different cultures in places we once dreamed about visiting. As we leave Takamatsu and journey back to Tokyo, it's worth highlighting another tip. The Japan Rail network is extensive, covering pretty much the whole country. And this isn't just the Shinkansen, it also covers conventional lines too, just like the one we took over to the island of Shikoku and back again.
We are now taking our very last Shinkansen back to Tokyo. It has been a whirlwind of 7 days on this trip. We've seen a side of Japan that we've never seen before. It's really nice to see the artsy side of Japan, because we've always focused on like the cities and like the food scenes, temples and the history and the culture.
I feel like as well this trip has definitely given us a bit of a taste of some new prefectures that we've never been, and we've definitely seen a different side to some of the prefectures that we've been to before. It's just made us super excited to book another trip back to Japan because we clearly love it so much. You could just come here again and again and have a completely different experience, and that's one of our favourite things about coming to this amazing country.
And our last tip today for the JR Pass, using a JR Pass calculator. There are a number of calculators available online where you can compare individual ticket costs against the cost of the JR Pass and see your savings. As an example, based on all the journeys we took on this itinerary, we saved close to 20,000 yen just by purchasing the 7-day JR Pass.
Guys, if you do have any questions on our trip, the places that we visited, where we've been, or the JR Pass itself, please leave a question or a comment below and we will come back to you.
And guys, if you like this video, we would really appreciate it if you hit that like button, and if you want to stay tuned and see more of our travels, please hit that subscribe button. So
see you in the next video.